It's your favorite Compas, and we are back with another edition of Compas on the Beat. On this episode, we have our we talk a little bit about who are MVPs, what's a storyline. You know me, I'm a WWE guy. What is the storyline that I'm looking forward to the most? And all that, and plus we get the takeaways from Dan and Daygo and Vic, the producer, on week 12. We also have our usual NFL Power Rankings burial of the week. Una más. And this week on Avocado Roast, we give our top Harry Potter film in the franchise. And before I go to Gilberto, I mean, am I just running away with the picks this year? We'll get into that also. But Gilberto, don't you have a question for our viewers and or listeners?
Yes, I do, Fernando. It's the engagement question of the week. And we love to get people involved in this show, this program, Compas on the Beat. And you mentioned it, Fernando. We're going to talk MVP. We're going to talk
What?
best storyline and the biggest
What?
surprising teams in the NFL. So I'm going to stop there. That is the engagement question of the week. The biggest surprise team in the NFL, good or bad? For good, you got the Vikings, you got the Colts, the Texans, the Broncos. For the bad, you got the Bengals and the Bills. Oh, Joe Burrow, you're out of my life already. It feels too soon. But that is the engagement question of the week. Give me your biggest surprise team in the NFL 2023. If you're in audio, Spotify, Apple TV, no, Apple Podcast. There you go. Get on to the YouTube, leave the comment. And eventually we got to do some more engagement stuff for the audio people.
Before we go to him, I'm actually interested to hear what Dan and Dago is going to have to say about what his surprise team is of this year. That's going to be something you need to check out. But let's go to Dan and Dago now.
Welcome, one. Welcome all to another glorious Wednesday. You already know what it is. I know what you're thinking. You're saying, I know that voice. I know who that is. I know what program he's on. You're thinking to yourself, it's Dan and Dago. Yeah, you are absolutely right. Because not only is today Wednesday, not only is today one day closer to the weekend, not only is it hump day, but it is the day your favorite program, Compas on the Beat, drops a new episode. You already know what it is. You already know what we're getting into. We're getting into all the week's takeaways from the NFL. Shout out, we get into it. We got our power rankings, which I'm sure is going to piss off a lot of people, but shout out to all you for listening. Make sure you get in those comments. Let that stooge, that scumbag, know how wrong he is and how much of a curse he is to everyone's favorite team. Shout out to all of you. We also get into our avocado roast, our burials, what. You already know we do it all here. So shout out for all you for making the right decision on your Wednesday and tuning into the program. But anyway, I know what you're all telling me. Enough of the dilly-dally, Dan, and they go, let's get with the program. So all the way from across the hallway, play the music, Nando.
Welcome to Compas on the Beat. I'm Fernando Ramirez. I cover the Chargers for the Sporting Tribune. With me, as always, my co-host, my tag team partner, Gilbert Manzano, covers the NFL for Sports Illustrated. What's up, bro?
I'm doing well, Fernando. I'm in a good mood because you texted me not too long ago saying, hey, we should probably not talk about Monday Night Football because that game was horrendous. And I said, yes, I totally agree. Why would we talk about Josh Dobbs, who was a good story? Wink, wink for my story that I'm going to give you later on. But yeah, 4 interceptions, whatever that was. We don't got to talk about that, Fernando. I'm already looking forward to Super Bowl Radio Row. I'm excited to get back there. The Compas 3 years in a row.
Well, the funny part is about that is because the Cinderella story is kind of dying down. Josh Dobbs has lost 2 games in a row, I think. And it's kind of like, let's hit up some other things. Let's stir up a little bit and let's see what everybody thinks about what's going on. But you mentioned it, Radio Row. Could the Compas be heading back there for the 3rd year in a row, Gilbert? We have hit L.A., Arizona.
What?
Are we going to be heading to Vegas? Dan and Daygo in Vegas is it's going to be interesting to see. But Gilbert, why don't you tell the folks a way for them to? I left him in the car. Dang it.
Whenever somebody says Vegas, let's go to Vegas. I think about that scene in The Hangover where they're in the car and they're all going and they're all wearing their glasses. Yeah, that's why.
It's why I managed to stay single for so long.
Exactly. Or or when they're in the car getting the tux, but I think that's on the way back. But
that's on the way back. Yeah. But Gilbert, this is, you know how we are at Compas on the Beat. One of us is down, the whole team goes and picks them up. What's a way that teammates can help each other out? Can you tell the good people?
That's right, because we're trying to get the Super Bowl Radio Row. I know why I said that voice. It's like, that's right, and here's more. ShamWow. But that is right, Fernando. We're trying to get the Super Bowl Radio Row, and we're asking the people, the listeners and viewers, to help out the compas here. We started PayPal for donations because we need to get some money for equipment and get to Las Vegas to cover expenses. So right now, $0, but at least you see the link. It's real. It's not fake. It's not AI. I'll just leave it at that, Fernando. But you can find the link on the homepage of our YouTube channel, Compas on the Beat, What's Up Bolt, House of Horns, even Combat Compas. We got to dust it off. So the link is there. PayPal, you see PayPal, Compas on the Beat is legit. And then if you ever catch us on live, like a Monday, Lunes live, or we're live on Wednesday or Thursday with Victor, or even House of Horns, maybe What's Up Boats too. Feel free to do, I think it's called like a super like or a super comment. That also helps out the channel. So we're trying to grow the network here, help out the compas. But I know it's the holiday season, so I don't want to push people. No pressure, but if you want to, there's a link. Oh, it's also in the description. One more thing, Compas on the Beat donation in the description. Much easier.
It's like a GoFundMe for Mexican people.
Yeah. There you go. So maybe you'll take pesos too. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know what's the highest right now, but yeah, obviously, like we said, we want to get back to Radio Row. Obviously, give you guys great content and all that. So hopefully, you got any little bit any little bit helps. There you go. Any donation helps. Let me go with that. But definitely, again, we appreciate you guys, and it's all to bring you guys the best content out there. So, but yeah, thank you guys again, and thank you guys for listening and always being here. We obviously you never really know how many fans or viewers you have until like sometimes like on Mondays. Well, I know Dan knows exactly who views What's Up Bolts because they're in the comments and
whichever team the Chargers are playing that week, they're in the comments.
That's why I'm interested for this week. How are Patriots fans going to react to Dan and Daygo? Actually, Dan and Daygo is very complimentary of the Patriots and the Patriot way. So maybe they'll get on him for being so complimentary. Who knows? I mean,
what are you watching out there? Bill Belichick is washed, which was one of the comments I saw earlier today.
It's so funny. That's why it's so funny to see what fans comment. But when we do overreaction lunes with the compas, like we have Athier, we have Jorge, we have everybody who jumps in, and Morgan, all these people that jump in always. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Or compa from Chile. They always interact with us, and it's always awesome. So
I'm blanking on his name, but Trejo, last name, WWE fan.
Oh my God.
Not Danny Trejo. I was gonna say Danny too.
It's something with a J.
Yeah. All right. He's gonna watch it. Like, you guys are terrible.
I know. I'm the worst.
But he's awesome.
I'm the worst. Awesome. No, he's Jesse.
Trejo, right?
Trejo.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah. So, but
we're learning
again. Yeah, exactly. I'm better with faces. Especially if you're a cheeky.
Maybe but, in the future. We've been talking about that one day.
What? Me getting your girlfriend?
In-person live show, getting to know.
Oh, yeah. Who knows? Maybe one day we'll do that. But all right, Gilbert. Like Dan and Daygo says, enough with the dilly dally. Let's get the fellas and see how they're.
He actually says enough with the grab ass. Just to clarify.
Well, yeah, Dan says that, but I can't say that. Kid show.
Yes, sir.
Vic is very festive. Vic, Gilbert's gonna get triggered with all the Christmas lights behind you.
Time of year, okay, it's fine. There you go.
There we go. I'm back in LA, guys. I'm happy to be back on the home studio. Look at this. It's got my
nice
holiday. I got my holiday setup already. I hope it doesn't bug Gilbert.
No, but I'll say this. Today was the first time I heard Christmas music, and you know why? I had to jump on a Zoom conference call for work, and they were playing Christmas music, and I'm like, November 28th, finally, but a little later than usual. Yeah, I know.
Oh, no. Trigger.
Hold on. There you go.
It's okay. It's after Thanksgiving. You guys listen to my rules.
Look at that.
Right? Don't push it, though. Don't push it.
By the way, unfortunately, Dan and Daygo will not be here today. That's all we know. But what?
Nah. Oh, I am here.
Oh wow, we got him in a tie
buddy,
too.
up there. Is that a
Brought some
tie?
class to the program. My name today is Mr. Ramirez. Pleasure to meet you all.
Oh.
How are
No,
you
Mr.
doing?
Dan and Daygo.
Mr. Dan to the Daygo, bringing a little class to this program. I have to. Look at the student you put on top of me over here. You know what? Let's flip it. Hold on. Let's flip this real quick. Because, oh, damn it. I thought that would have worked. There we go. Because I am elevating myself, bringing class to the program.
You're like wearing
That's what I do.
You're wearing the game day attire with the headphones and the tie. It feels like you're getting ready for a game.
Baby.
He's like he's
Game day
walking
fit,
in.
baby.
He's
Yeah,
got
you're
that
walking in.
the walk-in
Got to.
fit.
Seriously, I'm going to tell you all right now, and if you guys want to pull up a picture later, that's fine. If I had a game day fit, like if I was in the NFL or coaching in the NFL or college or whatever, 100% dressing up like a Peaky Blinder every game day, dude.
Oh,
The
yeah,
hat might change, but maybe I'll be smoking on the way in, really piss some people
Don't
off.
bring
That
the
would be
blade inside of
hilarious,
the
dude.
hat though. Just avoid the blade.
Oh yeah, no weapons. No, kid show. No violence. No violence. I can tell the kids. No violence. No
Hey, I'm not
violence.
trying to get off track, but I just recently watched a show on Netflix that involves the war. I think World War II. You should check it out. It's with the guy from Marvel, the Hulk. There you go. But I forgot the name. Sorry, I'm the worst.
Was it
Oh.
a show? Was it
Yeah,
a show?
something
or a movie?
about you could see
Mark
in the
Ruffalo.
light.
Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah. If you see it on Netflix and he's on it and it's about World War II, you better watch it. It's pretty good.
Well, you had my curiosity.
Yeah, I know.
Now
Sorry, I
you
don't
have
know.
my attention.
That's
my
the
guy.
one thing in common. Instead of fighting, I talk about either crime docs or history shows.
That's the one we always do together. Yeah, crime docs. You see the Get Gotti? Yeah, you did, right?
Oh,
I
yes,
started
of course.
watching that. It's pretty interesting so far, dude. I love when they have the what's it called?
Thank you.
The audios. I love hearing the audios of the gangsters with New York accent and all that. Yeah, exactly. Forget about it.
Come get me. Sorry, we had our own podcast right now.
Exactly. We were talking about crime docs, gangsters. Oh yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, look at
That's
that.
exactly where I was.
Ooh.
Which, by the way, they are a part of my burial. My burial is unprofessionalism, lack of professionalism.
Mexicans report.
Yeah.
So you were interviewed, or what's going on here? What's
No.
this?
So one of our players was I don't want to bury the lead. That's part of my burial.
all right.
I will include it in my burial, and I'll tell you what I was doing there. Yeah. Except you know who I should bury right now, real quick? My freaking photographer, dude. I don't need to see what shoes I was wearing in this photo. Like, I kid you not, Gilberto and Vic. I literally frown. The other day I went to the game with someone who shall not be named, he who must not be named. I sent photos of frown, the photos I took of the person I went with, the photos he took of me. Absolute ass. My photos were way better. People don't know how to take pictures anymore, dude. Like, one thing's
There's
for sure,
Underrated
I'm a chubby
show,
guy.
really.
I'm a chubby guy.
There's-
Waist, the gut and above, dude. I don't need to see my gut and everything down there, dude.
Thank you.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
talking about.
I said
don't
that
need-
somebody took a picture of me in Mexico City. In Mexico City, I was like really heavy when we went a couple of years ago, and I'm like, bro, like you took an unflattering picture, and they were like, oh, I'm sorry. How did you want me to take it? I'm like, tits up,
the
my
chest and
guy.
above.
Like,
Yeah, exactly.
exactly.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the hell?
Now I gotta crop the dog shit out of that thing just to make it Instagrammable, dude.
I gotta feel like I'm also included in this. You know, I've gained some little weight, and
I don't
Victor,
want to
you,
hear
you
this. I don't
come
want to
on,
hear
like,
this. I don't want
let
to
me
hear
be
this.
clear of it. Victor sent the photos of the wedding, and I kept looking cool. No gut, no good. I'm sucking it in. I feel good. And then there's one picture in the wedding where, like, because they made you do the suit with the button top on the top,
Yeah.
the top button closed, and you could tell
Yeah.
I'm trying to suck it in. I was like, oh, okay, that's not a good photo of me. But that was the only one where, like, yeah.
Have you
Panza.
seen my Big Fat Greek Wedding too?
Well, you
Oh,
told me it was
yeah.
terrible. No, or was that 3?
No, that was 3.
No,
No,
that's
that's
three.
three.
Three's ass.
man.
Okay, so in 2, like the women grab each other by like the neck and they pull them back, so like their skin yanks back, and they look a lot younger. So when you were saying that, that's exactly what I was thinking about. They're like 1, 2, 3, pull. So, but Vic, those pictures were fire.
Thanks. Yeah, like the photographer that we got, she did a great job, honestly. Like my now wife, she's the one that found her on Instagram. So yeah,
Oh.
shout out to Leah Gunn. She did a great job with those pictures, and honestly,
Shout out.
like they came out better than we thought. So, and that was only the sneak preview. They still gotta do the rest of them. So can't wait to see the final result.
What did how was the drive back?
It wasn't bad. The only problem was that Megan got sick like the weekend after the wedding. We thought she got COVID. Unfortunately, she didn't. But yeah, she's
Unfortunately or
still
fortunately?
fortunately.
Big seed.
Sorry, sorry about that. But yeah, so she couldn't. She could have driven, but I mostly did the driving coming back. We drove from Veneta, Oklahoma to Gallup, New Mexico. We did about 12 hours the first day on Thanksgiving Day, and then the next day drove another 10 hours. But yeah, and then so we. By the way, I have a story for you guys. It's not in my burial. I should have probably used this, but I'll take the time to say. So we have our cat Kirk with us, and so we took him with us to Oklahoma, and we were bringing him back again. And so I booked a hotel because we didn't know whether we were going to stay in Albuquerque or we were going to stay in Gallup. So I booked the hotel like 2 hours before, and then I checked everything, make sure they were pet friendly. So we show up, we're like, hey, we have a reservation, and then they're like, oh, just to let you know, we don't allow dogs over 35 pounds, and we don't allow a cat. And we're like, well, in your reservation it said that you guys were pet friendly. And he's like, yeah, I'm sorry. So we had to cancel our reservation and look for a hotel in Gallup to get somebody to take us with a cat. Fortunately, we did, and then I got charged. I have to go ahead and go to my credit card company now and fight the charge because they were like, yeah, we'll take care of it. I still haven't received an email from them saying that they canceled the reservation. So there's that. So yeah.
The one good thing about that is plenty of hotels available in Gallup, New Mexico. I don't even know where the hell that is.
Yes, it's between Albuquerque and Flagstaff.
We're going to get people in the comments from Gallup, New Mexico saying, F you, Gilberto.
Yeah,
we're
shut
here.
up over there, mustache.
Yeah.
What's his name? We don't see a lot of you like around these here parts.
Gallup.
Okay, take it easy.
I just
By
know
the way,
Michael
I
Gallup
bet
and that's it.
for real. Vic and Megan must have felt like Joseph and Mary being denied at the end.
Except my baby.
Yeah,
I think it's so stupid though that like dogs under 35 pounds, but no cats. Like a dog under 35 pounds might as well be a cat. It's the same thing. Yeah.
It's like, oh, we just prefer little hamsters. That's it.
Yeah, for real.
Gilbert, watch this.
Dude.
And you do mine, okay?
Oh, you found it?
2, 3, pull.
He's over there like,
yeah.
But all right, let's get into our NFL stuff. Dan and Vic, your Week 12 NFL takeaways. Dan, go ahead.
One thing I'm going to say for my Week 12 takeaway, the Bills, dude.
Oh, wow.
I know, yeah, that's exactly what I'm gonna go for. I don't think I said this on What's Up Bolts. I was not impressed with the Ravens on Sunday night. Like I understand they squeezed out a victory, they did what they needed to do. I was not impressed. I don't think, I think for the way they're hyped up, especially by someone on this program, I won't say who. I expected a little bit more. Defensively, I thought they did a good job. So I'll give them a little bit more credit that way. But offensively, dude, I felt like they couldn't find a rhythm. For you to get stopped on 4th down against, this Charger team who hasn't really been able to do a lot in the defensive game, especially because they held you to 13 points most of the game or 10 points most of the game. So not too impressed with them. I felt like a lot of Lamar's passes were dunks and swing routes, check down Charlie and slants.
Like who else?
Tua? Who else? Patrick Mahomes? Who else? Who else you want? Josh Allen doesn't do that because he'll turn the ball over trying to sling it down the field. So, but yeah, that's my takeaway. I'm not very impressed with the Ravens with what I saw up front, offensively in the game. So I'll do that as my takeaway.
Why did you start saying the Bill? I think I had like a Bills take. You just changed your mind or what?
Yeah, I changed my mind. Because I mean, the Bills went up against the Eagles. That's what I remember that they went. But like the Eagles to me also have been such a curious team because the defense has looked better for most of the year, in my opinion, but the offense at times struggles. And sometimes I'm like, I kind of understand Lane Johnson's hurt. They have a backup in there and other things like that, but I don't get where the struggle is when you have, a star-studded offense, in my opinion. Jalen Hurts for the most part good. He has the run pass option. You have, Devontae Smith, AJ Brown. Like you've got guys on that team. You have Jason Kelsey up front leading and everything else. I just don't know why they haven't looked as good, but they haven't looked as consistent. Because I mean, obviously Sunday,
wild.
Yes, and on Sunday, wasn't looking too good, but hey, they did what they needed to do to come back for overtime and win. So credit to them.
Did you see everybody shat themselves when Jason Kelsey went into the back? Like he left right before overtime.
We were watching that, and I was like, "What the hell's going on, dude?" Because I didn't have the audio on, and then it's like, I see the meme later. What a legend! Went to go take a crap while the game was going on to be ready for overtime or whatever, and I was like, "Oh, that's funny."
I think I just checked that the 49ers are actually favorite in Philadelphia, and probably because of what you're saying, the Eagles haven't been looking good. I'm like, there's something fishy here. I'm like, why are the 49ers as the favorites? They're minus 2.5. So I don't know. Kind of a weird one.
Think about it also,
like the Eagles step up at the end of games. Like, they might be out of it, but for some reason they're just finishing games
because they're dogs. But I was gonna say, more than anything, I would pick them a little bit as favorites too, because it's, Brock Purdy's quote unquote second year essentially in the same system. So he's going to have more experience. He's going to be more comfortable. And Jalen Hurts,
back, Trent Williams back.
Exactly. And, I think Trent Williams, I think Jalen Hurts, you're starting to see who he was, in the first year of the system, where he was kind of like, the Eagles were kind of like whatever's offensively, still trying to figure it out. 9-8, squeeze into the playoffs. And then the second year is where he made that jump. So I think this is what you're seeing right now. He's still trying to get comfortable in the system and understanding everything that's going on.
Yeah, look, he's you're right on. One of the things I was going to mention about that game, because like I was watching that game, but I also had to do the Rams post game show, so I was trying to hold on as far as I could so I can watch that, because it was exciting. But one of the things that I was going to talk about, and I'll get to it, it had to do with the officiating, and it doesn't, I'll say this: it's not just. I'm not blaming the Eagles winning this game or the Buffalo Bills losing this game on the officiating. I just think that for me, and it had to do with the Jaguars and Texas games as well. It's like I was having a conversation with my father-in-law, and he's an official for high school football, and one of the things
official PIPM or PMP.
Yeah. And he was saying, we were having a conversation about officiating and how his big thing is like he doesn't understand why the NFL not only we got into a really good conversation about how first of all the officials are not full-time employees. They have jobs the other half of their season, and so that's been a problem forever. We've talked about this in the past. The other thing is that you have a crew that you go in with during the season, and then you get to the playoffs, and then we're gonna take the best out of from this crew, the best from this crew, and then we're gonna split them up, which then kind of you're not used to working with those people, so that's also kind of like a chemistry thing, right? But like my biggest thing is like, why is the NFL not putting their best crews for the big games like we saw in the Texans Jaguars game, and then in the Bills and Eagles game, and then going to that game, one of my biggest problems, I know that everybody's gonna point out the interception by Josh Allen, and rightfully so. I understand that. Like, it feels like he's become like the new poster child where it's like, hey, if he makes a mistake, it's on him. But for me, it was the coaching, and it goes back to Sean McDermott. Like, there was so many bad calls by him, and like that last play where they ran the QB run with Jalen Hurts. It's been pointed out now by several people where even the players were saying we couldn't believe they called that defense because we run this play. They ran that same play against the Chiefs last week. They ran that same play in the Super Bowl. And it's like, how are you not prepared for this? Like, to see Micah Hyde get full and run, towards the fake, and then have Jalen Hurts just go into the end zone. That's on Sean McDermott. Calling a timeout when you're about to trying to ice the kicker, like, it's already a bad situation. Why are you calling a timeout? And to Gilbert, he pointed this out. I was going to mention it on the live. He brought it up. Why are you wasting your timeouts when you have 20 seconds to go and then not go for the win and leave it up to overtime? And then, like you said, like you guys were the ones that kind of bitched about the whole coin toss thing, and then you win it and you don't win the game. That's on you. That's on the Bills. And so that was my biggest takeaway from this weekend, was the officiating was bad in your big games, and then also the coaching from Sean McDermott. And it's probably going to, because now that you fire Ken Dorsey, guess what? Like, had you waited to fire him at the end of the season, you probably buy yourself another season. But at this point, you pretty much put all the bullshit on yourself. And so if you don't make the playoffs, Sean McDermott is probably going to get fired the day after they miss the playoffs.
Yeah, I can't
What do
believe
you
it.
think of that?
Go ahead, Fernando. Sorry.
No, I was going to ask you real quick. No, yeah, you, Gilbert. What did you think about the hit out of bounds on Herbert? Did you think that was a penalty? Like, did you see the full report?
The first quarter, right? The first drive, right? It was a bunch. I actually did not get a chance to read it, but there was like two weird plays or two weird calls there, right? That occurred in that first drive, or three. And I'm like, man, if this was a fourth quarter, people would be losing their crap right now. But yeah,
they said that Herbert. What they said was that Herbert was tiptoeing, trying to gain extra yards, and that when he stepped out of bounds, that's when the guy had lunged himself, so they didn't feel the need to call it. But I was like, no, but like, he launches himself as soon as Herbert's like you can clearly see. Like, I even thought that this one was worse than the Tillery one. I actually thought that this one was
Can I ask you guys a question to that? Because I thought the same thing too, but I think, and I've been seeing that our video, the Keenan Allen one, where he's talking about Jerry Tillery, it continues to get views on our TikTok and everywhere else. And I think because somebody must have complained about Justin Herbert faking like he's going out of bounds and then staying in bounds, that maybe that's the reason why they didn't call it. So I was going to ask you guys, do you think because of what happened in that Raider game that this is probably the reason they didn't call it? I don't know. Like, it was weird.
Either way, that's manure. That's manure. That's a strategy anyway to fake going out of bounds.
Well,
if your dumbass lets up, if your dumbass lets up because you're thinking he's going out of bounds and you don't secure or make sure he goes out of bounds, that's on you. That's not a rule change. That's not a let's avoid throwing flags when you're close to the out of bounds. That's manure. That's an idiotic thought right there. I don't know why they didn't call it.
That's what Michael.
And that's coming from a man wearing a tie.
Exactly. And the other thing I wanted to bring up, I also love absolutely how supposedly, I think I saw something, Josh Allen is 0-5 in overtime or whatever, but no one brings up he's not a winner. He can't do this or that. Absolutely love that. That's my favorite right there. Can't win in overtime, crunch time, but we're only going to slander and crucify one quarterback, dude. Get out of here.
And going off the bill, I can't believe they sat on the ball for 20 seconds. You got beat by 13 seconds. You got beat by Russell Wilson just throwing the ball, prayer down the field. Oh, flag, cool. Let's go for the field goal. Like, at least attempt something. Throw a heave down there.
That pig scared them. That pig that he threw.
You know what? I actually thought about that. I'm like, what the hell is going on? The they call it the Hail Mary, right? Or the Hail, H-E-L-L. And maybe that could be a thing where, like, you know what, you throw it, they go back, but that's a Jets. Like, you're better than that. You have some kind of pride in your defense or your team to do, I guess, your offense. But going back to Victor's point, like, everything you listed, Victor, that is a definition of the 2023 Bills. Like, they showed so much potential going toe-to-toe with the Eagles. I'm like, oh man, I kind of want to see them get in. I'm like, they're not. They're too inconsistent on offense. They have terrible coaching. They're very thin on defense. It's like, you're going to play the Chiefs. You're going to play the Cowboys. You're going to play the Dolphins. I'm not even sure they can beat the Chargers. Maybe I'm just kind of a stretch there. But you got to go at least like maybe, 3-2 or something. And I don't know. I don't see what the Bills, man. So I'm ready to give up on them because they're just not meant to do it this year. It's kind of like the Bengals. It's just without the injury. It's kind of like, okay, fine, get out of our lives. The Bengals are definitely gone because of the injury. But they're just not disciplined enough. And that's going to And you're right, Dan. Like people crap on Herbert, you got to crap on Allen too. Like at least Herbert doesn't turn the ball over. Allen does, and I know it wasn't that big of a pick, Victor, on Josh Allen. But the definition of the Bills is like when Gabe Davis went into the end zone on a choice route, he went left, he threw the ball right. That's again the definition of the Bills. They cannot get on the same page. They're not in sync. So that to me was a summary. I'm like, when I saw that throw, I'm like, oh crap, he's wide open. Gabe Davis goes to the left. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
always the Bills doing this crap. And I know we're going to talk about you want to talk about the Bills, but real quick, Dan, I'm with you on the Ravens. They do scare me. That passing game was terrible. You're playing the worst secondary in the NFL. Maybe not the worst, but one of the worst. And Isaiah, I kept telling Fernando, Isaiah likely has the most catches and receiving yards for 40 yards.
He was torching him.
That was a halftime. I guess Zay Flowers got that one end around touchdown, the rushing yard, but that's all they do.
Yeah,
is
but that
like
doesn't count as a
these
pass.
quick throws and running the football. And I get that the AFC is a little down, but if you fall behind, like I cannot trust Lamar Jackson. And also the Ravens, the fourth quarter, they have led it going into every fourth quarter. They almost had a fourth loss in the fourth quarter to the Chargers when they didn't go for that 4th and 1, and Tucker surprisingly missed. I get it, but you have Lamar Jackson. He can at least run the ball for 1 yard, and they wouldn't do it. So they scared me a lot.
And they did that wildcat.
What the hell was that about?
That one I couldn't believe.
One again. You have Lamar Jackson. Just do a run pass option. That's it. Like not that hard.
Yeah.
Gilbert told me that as soon as we were walking to the Ravens locker room. He's like, yeah, this team is way too inconsistent. They may be 9-3, but they're not a strong 9-3 where you're like, hey, like I don't think they can go into Kansas City and do a 20-play drive and knock 8 minutes off of the clock or 10 minutes. I think they're one of those teams that has to score fast. And I think that's kind of where their issues kind of lie. Yeah.
Good defense, though. I really like defense.
No, their defense is nuts.
And that goes to the point too, guys, that we've been talking about the last couple of weeks is with the AFC. It's like, are you the Chiefs too? Like, I wasn't impressed with what I saw against the Raiders. Like, they got down 14-0, and then honestly, the most impressive team in the AFC this week was the Jaguars and the Texans. I came away impressed with both teams. Like, that was another great game. Like, we had the morning game with the Jaguars and Texans, and then we had the Bills and Eagles. And I mean, for me, the Jaguars I'm still iffy about that offense, but that defense for the Jaguars, like no team in the AFC, it's wide open as we've been talking about.
That's another team that's been so weird to me. My bad. I'll just say the last point. Having Dougie P as your head coach, offensive mind, and not being able to, be a lot more consistent with the weapons they have on offense. I don't know if it's the rust for Calvin Ridley or some of these guys, but I feel like they have not really put a game together where they're like really controlling the ball and moving it up and down and everything else.
It seems like Kirk and Ridley are too like they're very similar.
They do similar things. Yeah.
And it's like you kind of want a fast and a tall, like a Mike Evans, Chris Godwin kind of situation where you have one, then you have the other. So that's the interesting part. I was
going to just say that Ridley has really been stepping it up. And now you mentioned that, Fernando, Kirk has been very quiet. So you got to find a way to get both guys involved. Good point.
And he's getting paid a lot of money, dude, to be out there. So
yeah.
And Ingram doesn't have that money. Ingram doesn't have a touchdown, right? This season,
ETN's been quiet the last month too.
Yeah.
I mean, well, never mind. I was gonna take a shot. I'm not going to. All right. NFL season takeaways. We will not talk Monday Night Football. We'll talk about NFL season takeaways. Let us start off with surprise team. Who is a team that has surprised you? Gilbert, why don't you start us off?
Yeah, I'll go with the bad, and maybe I'm just trying to make myself look good because I had better expectations for the Panthers, but to be 1-10 and pretty much have like a college team, I'm trying to find a way to insult this team. They're a terrible team. Like I know they got the one win, and I've seen some winless teams in the NFL, but they feel like a winless team. I don't know how the hell they beat the Texans and CJ Stroud, but they're bad, offensively, they're bad defensively, and I get why David Tepper fired Frank Wright because that is a horrendous offense. And to your point, actually, Victor reminded me about the officials where they had the all-star team in the playoffs. Like somebody brought up a good point saying like David Tepper told Frank Wright, you can't hire your buddies. And I get that we want to have more diversity, But this kind of the downside. He said, we're going to hire an all-star of coaching staffs. And all it did is create dysfunction because nobody knew each other. And that's how, like, you have a great coaching staff and you can't produce a competent offense. And I get that Bryce Young is small and he looks really small. Like, I bet David Tepper's in the press box saying, where the hell's my quarterback? He's right there, guy. Like he just looks lost. But it's like, you got to help. You went all in. You freaking sent the farm. And I get you were trying to get this all-star team, but that's why you got to think about it. You can't just fire everybody when things will go your way, David Tepper. And I think, Fernando, you're trying to bring it up on Monday where you said he fired 7 coaches. I think you're talking about the MLS team because I just found out that he has an MLS team and he fired a bunch of coaches there too. So he has no patience and he wants everything the quick fix. And the quick fix was, okay, let me get these all-stars of coaches here. And Frank Reich, who was kind of the consolation prize because I think he wanted Ben Johnson last year. And it just blew up in his face here. So, but the thing where I'm gonna, take a L here, I saw they were trying to make a good roster, and I'm like, you know what, Thielen could be fine, Mingo could, and the coaches are good, and I bought the draft stock on Mingo. People kept saying Mingo's gonna be good. I have not heard of the guy, and I saw Miles Sanders. He gets 1,000 yards, could be decent. Or they brought their top 5 offensive linemen from a year ago. Their offensive line has been terrible. So coaching, the personnel has been off, and then the defense should be better. Like, every year they keep telling me Brian Burns was really good. I'm like, I never hear from him. I never see Brian Burns, or I'm not watching Panthers games. And a year ago, the Rams offered them 2 first-round picks for Brian Burns. And they wouldn't do it. And then this year, it's like, hey, they put him up there on the trade market, and they wouldn't trade Brian Burns. You're like, pick a side. You're gonna rebuild, and like you traded away Christian McCaffrey. You think Bryce Young could use Christian McCaffrey and DJ Moore? It's like, pick a side, buddy. Like, either be a rebuilding project or start trying to win quickly. And they can't figure it out. But I'm just really surprised how bad they are, but everything I just listed, I shouldn't be.
All right, let's go with Vic.
For me, I talked about this team. I was very critical of the second pick they had, and I'm talking about the Houston Texans. And I've been surprised as everybody to see this team be this good. I was on CJ Stroud. I said, I thought the Raiders should go and trade up and pick him because I thought after what I saw in that game against Georgia, he looked the part. I just didn't understand why everybody was so down on him. They said, well, at the beginning of this, during the season, he wouldn't create, and maybe that was, as a result of the offensive coordinator or the head coach telling him, hey, run the offense, be a quarterback and from the pocket, and maybe that was the reason. But seeing him in the championship game or the Final Four, that to me sold me on him. And now to see it in the pros, like we knew that Ohio State quarterbacks don't do well in the NFL, so that was another hit on him. But the Texans, I mean, it was a slam dunk with with their coaching hiring, and my only criticism was that third pick. I just didn't think you should have mortgage some of your future when you're still trying to rebuild. But it looks like they knew what they were doing because, I mean, to see this team and how good they've become so fast, and that's part of the reason why David Tepper was, has been impatient, is because he sees new guys like, the coach we see here with D'Amico Ryans. You see Shane Steichen and with the Colts, they're winning with a rookie quarterback, and he's looking at it and it's like, why am I not winning with a rookie quarterback? So that's also a big reason why David Tepper fired Frank Reich as well. So for me, it's the Houston Texans.
Dan?
It's going to have to be that team in the Mile High, dude.
No, thought the Broncos. Team.
Oh, really?
No. That's my team.
Well, I didn't look at the list. That's who you're picking?
Yeah.
All right.
But if you want,
I
can
go first. You go first. You go first, then I'll think of another team.
Are you sure?
Yeah, that's fine.
Everybody's picking. Well, Gilbert crapped. Vic is being positive. I'm being positive. You can crap on somebody.
Crap on somebody.
Yeah, I'll think of someone right. Oh, you want me to crap on the Chargers?
No.
Are you surprised though? That's the key thing. Are you surprised by it?
You know what's funny? Seriously, I'll do this. Fran and I had a conversation before the year started, and he was like, I think this team can, make it far, be better, build off of last year. And I was telling him, I didn't see it, honestly. I didn't see it. I don't know if it's me being a pessimist, because that's what I'm told by a lot of people. I'm just a pessimist. But, I saw the team from last year to this year with the Chargers, and I thought it was going to be either one thing I am surprised about, I thought it was going to be a little bit of a similar result to last year, maybe squeak out a 9-7, miss the playoffs or whatever. I did not expect it to, whatever. I don't care. Either way, they're missing the playoffs. I don't.
Well, as of right now, they could win 6 in a row and get to 10-7 and sneak in.
Let me hold my breath. But
no,
I did not expect this team to look as bad as.
Leave me alone.
I did not expect this team to look as bad as it has been this year. Like, to make very little improvements on defense, to get in these shootout games with what's it called, with Tua. Some of these players, Tua especially, because I've been saying that from the beginning. The throw on Samoan is not very good, dude. Like, it is what it is on that one. There's a reason why.
Yards week 1 though.
There's a reason why they haven't signed him to.
Tyreek Hill was on Golasso today on CBS, and he said on the soccer show, and he said the Chiefs are they're better than the Chiefs were when they won the Super Bowl with him.
Yeah, that's idiotic. And the other thing that I think has been the biggest problem with this Chargers team is there's been a lot of mismanagement, either game time decision doing stuff, or just from the simple fact, like, you pay a corner $80 million, probably one of the highest paid players on the team, can't get it to work, becomes a problem, you ship him out, you're still paying half of it or whatever it is, fine. Now on top of that, you have a corner who has not improved, blamed whatever his poor play on last year, whatever it was, and now you have $6 million sitting on the bench. So there's been mismanagement from the top.
Blamed it on the girlfriend. Don't forget that part.
I don't care. I don't want to hear excuses. You're a professional. Seriously, just so you understand, and I know it's a little bit different, I got 3 hours of sleep Sunday night to Monday. I still showed up to work at 7 a.m. Why? Because I'm a professional. I'm an adult. I can separate my emotions and my feelings to what I have to go do because I'm a freaking man, dude. It is what it is. But that's the only thing I'm going to say. I think the Chargers have been my biggest surprise in the sense that, like, I didn't think it was going to be this bad. I think the thing that surprises me the most is I think Kellen Moore has been so inconsistent. And the way they hyped up that signing, I expected a little more from him. I understand there's injuries and everything else. But, I mean, if he could make Cooper Rush, look pretty damn good, I don't know what the hell's going on with this offense here. So I'll just go with that. I'll go with the Chargers, my surprise team in the negative. I did not think they would be at barely 4 wins, 10 games into the year or whatever it is at this point.
11.
Who cares? I'm missing the playoffs anyway.
I actually do have some video for you guys. I received this. This was Sean Payton and Russell Wilson a couple of weeks ago, talking on the field. I don't know how I got this, but here it is.
You know why? No. Got a 10-second memory. You're goldfish, Sam. Yeah.
There you go.
You know what's funny? Separate from everything else? I love how you and I are on the same wavelength. I didn't even look at the list and we picked the same team.
But this actually is Sean Payton. Listen to real quick what Sean Payton had to say when they fell to 1-5. After falling to 1-5, here's what Sean Payton said.
There's a fine line here between a groove and a rut. And, you take a look at, I'll give you an example. Detroit, a year ago was sitting, and I watched it as a media member covering. They had a handful of tough losses. They were 1-6.
People like using that word covering a lot.
Dan well and Titan. There's a grit element involved, some mental toughness that's involved. And then pretty soon, here they are at the end of the season. They win. They're eliminated before that game played, but they were in that contention. And then, here they are now as one of those teams. And so, we're kind of, in that position where it's, we're blowing up and we have to.
That,
so 1-5. That's when
1-5.
1-5. They got steamrolled and there was memes made about him by a lot Dolphins. Of people. By the Dolphins. People wanted Sean Payton fired after 1 year. People were comparing him to Urban Meyer, Nathaniel Hackett, Aaron Rodgers, all these storylines. But it seems like at one point he kind of told, don't you remember? He's like, keep my effing coach's name out of your mouth.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
So at one point, by the way, Nathaniel Hackett should kiss that fool's Achilles because thanks to him, he's gotten paid. I think Sean Payton really chilled everybody out. He relaxed everybody and he said, watch, we're not going to trade anybody except for, it seemed like Randy Gregory and Frank Clark for some reason, like as soon as they left, it's when they started really finding their groove. So something must have been happening there, but I'm really impressed with the way the Broncos have kind of turned it around. They're my surprise team. I mean, I didn't expect them to make the playoffs at the beginning of the year. I thought they'd be an average team. But wow, I mean, I think right now they're telling Russell Wilson, just manage the game, don't F up. He's like basically that Peyton Manning, like I told you guys that in his Super Bowl year. I don't think these guys are going to make the Super Bowl, but yeah, I wouldn't trade away Justin Simmons. I wouldn't trade away Patrick Surtain. Those are two monumental pieces that you need. And I'm interested to see what the Broncos do the rest of the season. But I'm just telling you guys, I'm very impressed with the Broncos right now, and they really demolished the Browns. Like they picked apart that Browns defense. I was really surprised by that. So I have to give it to the Broncos. The Broncos are actually my surprise team this year. But all right, let's
hold on real quick. I just want to also credit to Sean Payton for being patient with Vance Joseph, because people would just give up on him after the 70-20 game. And
after that Miami game,
that defense is awesome lately. So yeah, they're doing something right there.
I mean, look what happens, seriously, and I've been saying this till the day I die. Look what happens when you have competent leadership in there with a vision, executing, and everything else. It echoes into the field. It leaks into the field. You have competence in Dan Feeney, Dan Campbell. He's bringing that brand of football. He knows what type of identity he wants on his team. He's bringing the players in to do that. Fine. Excellent. Doing a great job. I love it. Sean Payton, a little similar thing, except he's had a little shorter window, but now he's found that groove because he kept going at it. Competent leader. He understands what to do. He's been in situations like people forget. In my mind, honestly, Sean Payton and Dougie P deserve a special spot somewhere else because they revived franchises that had never been, thought of anything. New Orleans got hit with I love this story, by the way. New Orleans gets hit with Katrina, and it was the year I think Drew Brees was a free agent or getting traded. I don't remember what, but I remember he was driving a car with Drew Brees, trying to recruit him to New Orleans, and he turned down the wrong street, and it was an area that was very affected by the hurricane, everything else. You can YouTube it. And he's basically telling him, well, this was an accident. I didn't mean to bring you this way, but essentially giving him the vision of what they could do in the city and on this team. And obviously, like they say, the rest is history. They won a Super Bowl and they revived that city and that franchise. And I think he's probably going to do the same thing with the Denver Broncos, even though obviously they're a little bit bigger of a brand, won a few Super Bowls and everything else. But, it's all about getting the right people in leadership, having the right vision, and just giving them time to execute work and not micromanaging them, honestly. The only thing I do think they need to do is get rid of I think the GM needs to go. That Russell Wilson and all that trading, not a fan. Not a fan of that.
Yeah, you've been a strong component. All right, quickly, guys, let's go. Just a quick explanation. MVP. I will start it off. I'm going to surprise a lot of people. Dak Prescott right now is, in my opinion, the MVP of the league. I'll tell you why. Dak Prescott before the season said, I'm going to limit interceptions. A lot of people thought that was a joke. A lot of people waited. They're kind of like the Denver Broncos in a sense. They didn't wait. They criticized him, and I was one of them after the 3 interceptions against the
49ers.
The 49ers. Yeah, against the 49ers. Ever since then, he's been clean. He's only thrown 2 picks ever since then. And he's thrown a bunch of touchdowns. He has 23 and 6, almost 3,000 yards. He's completing 70% of his passes. I know they haven't really played like the hard team that they played is the Eagles, and they lost to the Eagles. They haven't really played anybody else. But remember, it's MVP. It's America's team. The way I think the voters are going to go right now is if in a couple of weeks they beat the Eagles and they finish out the season with maybe one more loss, I think that's who they're going to choose for as MVP. Everybody's going to hype up Dak Prescott. I'm just thinking the way the voters are going to think. And I think right now Dak Prescott is a lot of people's MVP because of the season that he's having, and it's America's team and all this stuff. So I think Dak Prescott is the MVP. So Gilbert.
Yeah, real quick off of that, and I'll transition to mine. I feel like when people won't give Dak Prescott the credit because they're so caught up on the postseason failures, like even Mike McCarthy's offense, like ever since that Chargers game and they started feeding CeeDee Lamb, Mike McCarthy and Dak Prescott, they've been killing it, and nobody wants to talk about it, which is weird. They're America's team supposedly because everybody remembers the postseason failures, the game management for Mike McCarthy. So credit to you, Fernando, for overlooking that. It's the MVP. It's about right now what you're seeing, and he's playing well. But one thing,
can
go
I
ahead.
add to your point? Can I add to your point? The game that everybody keeps thinking about is the game against the 49ers. And they, for whatever reason, people can't get that game past them. It's like we just remember what happened in that game. And so we're going to punish you just because of that game. Also, to Fernando's point, his QBR, he hasn't played – the quarterbacks who have faced the same opponents, as you said, that they haven't played anybody, his QBR is still 20 points higher than the other quarterbacks who also face those same opponents. So to your point, yes, it's Dak Prescott, but we have to pick other guys. So go ahead, Gilbert.
I think everybody was shitting on him for that because that's who he's most likely going to end up playing in the playoffs. Like it's always been the Cowboys, or it's always been the 49ers. We've seen what the 49ers have done to him. The 49ers and him are not a good matchup. He's a better matchup to face the Eagles. That's why I think in 2 weeks they're going to beat the Eagles because the Eagles need the Eagles need one more loss to get them fired up. And I think to get them to click right away, I think if they lose at Jerry's World, that's going to click in them and they're going to be like, you know what? F this. Let's get it going. It's Super Bowl time. We got to do this. So, but I mean, I get it. I mean, I get the criticism of all that, but I have been impressed with them, and I've been impressed with him for really like limiting all those turnovers and everything. But I understand where everybody else's judgment is and the way they see it. But I mean, that's the way. But Dan, you know who he's gonna thank at the end of the season? He's gonna be like, thank you to the Los Angeles Chargers for getting me on the right track. And then
that was the game.
when Jordan Love gets into the playoffs, he's going to be like, that Chargers game was a turning point in my season.
I hate all of you. And I hate all of them too. I hate everybody. It's an absolute joke. What a mockery.
By the way,
if you want me to get going, I can get going.
Dan, I have a good one. The Lions haven't been the same since they beat the Chargers. So.
Yeah,
there you go. Okay. So now you're trying to dampen my spirits. That's the one team I want to get going.
Hey, they're horrendous defensively, bro. But let me get back to my.
I've been saying that though. I can't believe
they're a lot worse than I thought defensively.
Lions fans hate Dan, by the way.
I don't understand. Like offensively, yes, they are physical. They want to get up to you up front. They want to run the football.
That quarterback is physical.
They are Charmin ultra soft, dude. Like,
what do you think about the quarterback?
Oh, Jared Goff, he's average, dude. He's not top 10. I don't know what people are saying. You know what's funny? I was about to go back into those comments and be like, where was he today against these bum-ass Packers, dude? Like, unbelievable. They can't
let's get back on track. But
yeah,
you guys stole my counter, and that's why I can't pick Dak Prescott. He didn't beat the Eagles. He didn't beat the 49ers. And you know how it works. These awards, if you have the best record in the NFL and you're the star quarterback, you're probably gonna get the award.
That's why this award's a joke.
It is, but I was not on the Jalen Hurts bandwagon until I saw what he did to the Bills. Like he dominated the Bills, 5 touchdowns. Okay, that's the performance I want to see from MVP, and he's just so important. Like I get it. Like you want to do quarterback rankings, but Dan, you can at least appreciate that how important and vital he is to the Eagles system, to winning. The tush push, all that, or barely shove, like clutch. That does not work without Jalen Hurts. So he's doing his job, and then he elevated his game against the Bills. There, I know they're not the best team right now, but that was enough for me. Okay, they're 10-1, good quarterback, Jalen Hurts, but it could change. But if like Dak Prescott beats the Eagles in a couple of weeks, if he dominates the Seahawks on Thursday, it could change. But right now, I think it's Jalen Hurts.
When I think he'll dominate the Seahawks this week. Dan, go ahead. Who's your MVP?
My MVP. I just want to say, first off, I think this award is a joke. They need changes to most important quarterback or valuable quarterback. It's a mockery of the game, dude. Like, I don't understand sometimes these awards, but whatever. I'm going to go with who should be, honestly, MVP. I think Trent Williams should be MVP. I think that guy brings just a swagger, a mentality to that 49er offense. And the few games that he missed, honestly, they did not look very good up front. They're getting after it, and that's where Brock Purdy has done something that we had not seen him do, which is turn the ball over. I think he missed like 2 games or so, and Brock Purdy had he missed 3, and in those 3 games he had like 4 or 5 picks probably in there. You know, he had 2, I think, multiple pick games. So I think it should be Trent Williams. I'm always going to go with a hog, if not Jason Kelsey. I think Jason Kelsey is the heart and soul of that Eagles offense, but of course everybody wants to overlook that because they're not the one scoring touchdowns. So I would take either of those 2. I would love it.
You know what you and Emmanuel Ocho have in common?
Nothing. That guy's a scumbag.
He had Trent Williams on as his 4th. Look at his MVP list. What do you think, Dan?
Dude, Tua Tagovailoa. Dude, you should have put Tyreek Hill's ass.
Hey, look at number 4 though.
This guy's a joke. This guy is a joke. How are we gonna? I'm gonna say this again for everybody to listen, especially if you're slow learners. How in the hell is Tua Tagovailoa supposedly an MVP? He can't throw receivers open. He can't get the ball there on time. He freaking
focus on the number 4 on that list. That's the one he was trying to get to.
Actually, he led me right into mine. So thank you, Dan.
If this
mine
is I'm gonna jump through the screen.
No, it's Tyreek Hill. Because
yeah, exactly,
even though he has not a great quarterback who can get the ball. I mean, I saw that the Dolphins Raider game, and he missed Tyreek by like 10 feet. It was terrible on a bomb.
It's a joke.
So I'm gonna go with Tyreek Hill. He's got 1,324 yards through 11 games.
Yeah,
he's gonna get to 2,000 yards. If he does that, for me, it's kind of like if you break a record and there's not a lot of quarterbacks who are out there. We talked about if Dak Prescott beats the Seahawks, if he beats, and then you have Jalen Hurts, who, he's still throwing picks. He hasn't been as good as last year. We have a lot of if quarterbacks this season who might win the award. So I want to give it to another precision, as Dan and Daygo said, like it should be called the quarterback award because that's usually who it goes to. But 88 receptions, 1,324 yards, 10 touchdowns already. If he gets to 2,000 yards and breaks a record, he should get the MVP.
This would be a good poll, by the way. MVP or pick there.
You know what's the craziest part? The person next to him is Keenan, and he's 200 yards behind him. Then the next guy after that is like 200 or 300 yards behind Keenan. It's an absolute joke. But the other thing I was going to say, here's my hot take. I have 2 hot takes, but a similar topic. 100%. Pete Carroll, Mike McDaniel, they're looking for quarterbacks this offseason. I don't want to hear, but Mike McDaniel's so close with Tua. They have such a great relationship. Who gives a crap, dude? That's going to cost him his job, not getting this fool not being able to throw guys open and put it there on time and getting it. 100%. If Tua comes back, it's because Mike McDaniel couldn't find anything either in the draft or freaking in free agency or trades. But I think both of those teams, and I'll end it with this, are a quarterback away from actually being great and doing doing damage to the league, dude. It is just unbelievable.
We'll find out if they pay Tua, by the way.
They won't pay Tua. If they pay Tua, I'm jumping off the bandwagon because they're stupid.
Let's head over now to Power Rankings, Gilbert. Are you cool with that?
Or is that where we're next? Yeah. Let's do that.
Yeah, let's go over to Compas NFL Power Rankings.
So I can mock this.
Dan always loves these. Vic, go ahead.
All right. So mine is Eagles 1, 49ers 2, Cowboys 3, Ravens 4, Chiefs 5.
Oh, God.
Gilbert, go.
That's why we got to hear your picks, Dan.
Cowboys, beating that team in Washington on Thursday must have been real tough, dude. Wow.
This might be the first time we all agree on the 5 here. And but yeah, mine are the Eagles, 49ers, the Cowboys, the Chiefs, and the Ravens. I fell off on the Ravens, so Chiefs pass them.
What a joke.
I went Eagles, 49ers, Chiefs, Cowboys, Ravens.
Beating the Raiders was really hard, dude. I bet, yeah. Really hard.
And obviously the power rankings are Eagles 1, 49ers 2, Cowboys 3, Chiefs 4, Ravens 5.
Next week I'm going to try it. How are the Jags? How are the Jags not even in this? The Jags actually beat a competent team over the weekend. The
I actually
Texans were
agree with
starting to
him.
get
Now,
hot.
Okay, you know what? I didn't even think about that one. All right,
Yeah. That's what I do to this program. I bring class. You see what
They
I'm
got beat down by the 49ers. I can't forget about it.
Hey, we don't talk about the negativity.
All right,
And
let's
what are
go
you
now
talking
with
about? So
our
did the Cowboys. So did the
let's
Cowboys.
go now with
guy.
our picks. I went 3-2 last week. Everybody else went 2-3.
Oh, this is bullshit. We're cooking the books.
My
Never mind. I'm
no,
gonna hit
and you know what?
Gilberto.
Hold on.
How do you
I
like that?
gotta say this because even Gilbert before the show had me check. He's like, there is no way I'm one game behind Dan and Daygo, and so he had me go back and check, and we went
on it.
We went week by week, and that is
Wow.
the official
one
record.
game. It
Okay,
really pissed me
so
off.
Do you see how clutch I am?
Vic is in the cellar at 24-31. Gilberto's next 25-30. Dan is next 26-29. I'm at 34-21.
We're like the NFC South here, man, with 3 bad picks.
All right, let's go.
What
now
should
to
we
our
have
picks.
What should we have the loser of the year do, dude?
Yeah, we should give them like a title or something.
Something fun to do.
I'm
We'll
down.
see. Maybe they'll buy
All
big.
right, let's go, guys, so I can continue to separate. Let's go now with you guys are the Chargers corners. All right, let's go.
Look at this guy. Look at this guy.
He's killing himself.
No. All right, let's go now. Seahawks at Cowboys. I will go ahead and take the Cowboys. Dan?
Yeah, I don't trust Gino. I don't trust the quarterback situation. Give me the Cowboys.
Vic?
Yeah, give me the Cowboys.
Gilbert?
Yep, Cowboys.
Oh,
All right,
now we're screwed.
Browns at Rams. Give me the Rams. Dan?
Yeah, Rams are playing better.
Vic?
Rams.
Damn.
Gilbert?
Yeah, they don't have a quarterback, the Browns, so give me the Rams.
Colts at Titans. Give me the Colts. Gilbert?
Colts. Damn, we're all gonna agree on everything.
No.
Vic?
Give me the Titans. The Titans are better at home. The Colts are better
Oh.
at home. This is at the Titans.
Dan?
Yeah, I was about to say, give me the Titans.
Okay.
All right. Broncos at Texans. Give me the Broncos. Gilbert?
CJ Stroud and the Texans.
Dan?
I'm definitely going against Gilberto. I don't trust that curse. Give me the Broncos. Give me Mr.
All right. They'll make up the game right here.
Vic?
Texans.
All right. 49ers at Eagles. Give me the Eagles. Dan?
It's in Philadelphia.
Philly.
Which way are you going, Gilberto?
Really? I'm going with the Eagles.
Yeah, give me the Niners on the road.
Nice.
Those will be my road
Let me
warriors.
catch up this week then.
Give me the
Vic?
49ers. Give me the 49ers.
All right, there it is. All right, now let's go to Dan and Daygo and see what he's got cooking up for us.
I know what you're saying now. You see me again. You're saying, hello, Dan and Daygo, my old friend. Well, it's good to see you all again. And let me tell you something. It is getting into that season, hoodie season. We all love hoodies, right? Shout out to hoodie season. Not only is right now the time where you're starting to get your pumpkin spice lattes and all that other crap, but let me tell you something better that'll keep you warm. Shout out to Compas on the Beat. We got hoodies over here. Go check them out. I kid you not. You know me. Dan and Daygo is always a truth teller. I kid you not. You can get that hoodie, put it on out of the package. It's going to be comfortable. I kid you not. One of my favorite hoodies that I own. Absolutely love it. I love that now we're getting into the hoodie season again. So that way I don't look like a maniac wearing a hoodie in 80-degree weather or whatever. Check it out. CertifiedCompas.shop. Go over there, order a hoodie. I'm telling you, you cannot go wrong. Black Friday's coming up. Colder weather's coming up. Christmas is coming up. Hell, for Halloween, I don't know. You want to dress up like your Compas? Shout out to all you. Go and get it. Go and do it. You know what I mean? Don't worry about it. Absolutely, you will not regret that purchase. So once again, go to CertifiedCompas.shop. You will not regret the hoodie. And real quick, don't forget, check out our other shows. We got a little House of Horns. We got a little What's Up Bolts. We got a little regular Compas on the Beat. We got a little combat Compas for everybody who loves fighting. And if you love everything, the champions, be sure to check out Compas FC over there. The lads have got you covered. But anyway, let's just get back to the program. Nana. Nana. You already know what time it is. It's your boy, Dan in Daygo's.
Yeah.
Favorite segment, Burial of the Week. Cue the music. Let out
Oh,
the
I'm-
frustration. And everybody get in the comments and say what your Burial of the Week is. Don't be afraid to get in there. If you're on audio, get to tweet us. Comment on an Instagram post, whatever you want to do, especially if you want to bury Gilberto. Please mention me and I will join that bandwagon. I will jump on the train. So let's get
By
on
the way,
the Burial of the Week.
speaking of which, Randy Orton and CM Punk, you did a great burial this week. You have buried LA Knight. I love it. I'm all for
Yeah,
it.
that's right. That
Forgot
He
about the
wasn't
guy.
even in the
War Games,
pay-per-view.
yeah.
He didn't even appear at Survivor Series. That was great. I
Wow.
loved it.
Isn't
That's
it
the
War
kind of
Games?
energy I
It's
need.
War Games, isn't it?
15 minutes
He
of
was-
fame?
yeah.
Really?
He was supposedly the number one seller, and all of a sudden Randy Orton and CM Punk came back. Bye-bye to the back of the line. So I love
Wow.
it.
You see, they bury talent like John Cena.
Go.
Shut up.
LA
That
Knight
was
got
a-
married already.
That was
You know
a
what?
great pop by CM Punk, man.
That was awesome.
His
So
promo on
you
Monday's
know,
Live.
I was against it. As soon as the song hit, like, and I jumped out of my seat, and I was like, no way, like, I got hyped for it. So it was pretty
His
cool.
promo
But
on Monday.
I didn't like
sucked.
his promo. Yeah, his promo on Monday was kind of whack. All right, Dan, since you are the fanciest one here, you start off burial of the week.
I would just like to say the lack of professionalism in today's age is honestly unbelievable. I was pissed off Sunday when I saw Dr. Florio. For those who don't know, that's Mike Florio in that Nepo baby, Chris Sims, Phil Sims, whatever the hell his name is, just being so unprofessional on their stupid podcast or show. And the worst part is, I think it's supported by the NFL. That to me is unbelievable. You have guys, trying to say the F word, literally, like, there's a way to criticize teams without being a complete douchebag and arrogant about it. Chris Sims said something stupid like Ravens by a mile or whatever.
Unless
It
they
was
snort
10-point
coke or
game,
something like that.
dumbass. Unbelievable, dude. Unbelievable. The other thing that was unprofessional, I thought I saw. Damn, I can't remember now. I thought I saw another one before or after that, but I don't remember. But I will go to the one tonight. Tonight, absolutely unprofessional at this event. The PPR Gala or whatever. One of our players was nominated for an award, and the award was never presented. So I don't even understand why this wasn't communicated properly to our player, because we were there obviously to support our player. No one wants to go to this stupid thing half the time. It's as well run as a freaking Spirit airline flight. It's unbelievable. I'm trying not to use profanity right now, but just the lack of professionalism of, not trying to waste people's time and everything else. Then on top of that, this was actually a funny tweet. A coach from another school tweeted out, at KUSI PPR or whatever, value strength of schedule more than the college football committee or whatever, because the only people who won awards were people who played for open division teams. So that was funny to me. That was funny to me right there. But I just don't understand the lack of professionalism just overall. I can bury a team. I know sometimes I'll say dumbass and stuff like that. Like Tua, I can criticize Tua without being, a scumbag about it, if that makes sense. I criticize the tributes, whether you think that's brash or whatever in the way I say it, that's up to you. That's not your cup of tea. That's cool. I respect it. But I just can't believe, it just pisses me off, the lack of unprofessionalism. Like, we sat there for 2 hours at this stupid gala and not even an FU in the end of it, dude. Unbelievable. Unbelievable, dude. Absolute joke of an event. It was good to see our player. At least he was in good spirits and everything else. But I don't
He's a
understand
good kid.
how you're going to nominate a kid for the Pigskin Idol Award or whatever, and then not even present it. It's an absolute mockery.
A couple things. That was a Tiger King reference. Nice by you. Not even an FU. Makes me laugh
I
every
love
time.
that. Yeah.
And then, so what the hell? They didn't even announce. They didn't even tell you guys who won the freaking award or anything. You asked,
bro. Like I have the email somewhere. I don't remember what it was, but literally we were emailed, "Hey, our player got nominated for freaking the best pigskin idol or whatever," and it's like, we would love to have the coaches out here, whoever can make it. We would love to have you guys out here to support them. We show up, not even a mention of my boy's name. Then the other part that really pissed me off also was what's it called? They had a all county 11 whatever team of the best. Imagine an all pro type of thing for the county. Then they opened it up and they said, and then we just added names of people we liked covering. Where in the hell was my boy's name? He was in the freaking studio one week when he was Pigskin Idol, and they were right there. They were all, oh, you're so great, and da-da-da-da-da. Oh, all of a sudden, when it's time to cash the check, now we don't want to say anything. Just absolute unprofessionalism from Paul Rooney.
And I can vouch. He's a good kid. He's a really good kid. Like, it's somebody that you wish your daughter could date.
Unbelievable that this is the way these organizations are run and stuff like that. You know, it just really pissed us off. It's just a big waste of time, and all it is a self-serving thing. You know, I've never
the guy
been
that
a fan.
runs it. Dan called him out a couple of years ago.
I've never been a fan,
and he does not like Dan.
No, he dogs people for no reason, and then for whatever reason, San Diego media tries to prop up people who they're not sharing the full story, and I'll just leave it at that without getting too much into it. And it's just unbelievable to me. It's a mockery of everything this game should stand for, and I'll just leave it at that. Absolute waste of time. Absolute waste of time. It's just unbelievable.
Well, that player wins an award for Compas on the Beat for the best lineman in all of San Diego County.
Well, he's not a lineman.
No, he's a receiver.
He's got the heart of a lineman. He's got the heart of a lineman.
There you
good,
go.
Though.
We give him an award, okay?
Yeah.
He was their best player. I'm going to be quick, piggybacking off of that. High school football crowds.
Oh.
Like, we were at a game on Friday, and like the players are the other team. So the other team's on defense. The team that we were there watching, they're on offense, and the other side starts screaming, yelling, getting excited. So the idiot fans that were sitting there, they're like, come on, get up, get loud. I'm like, the quarterback and the offensive line can't hear the cadence, you morons. Why don't you guys just, and then you could see the players kind of going like this. And I think these idiots thought that there was angels in the outfield or something. And they started going like this too, like getting all excited. I'm like, you guys are such idiots. Like, they're telling you to shut up, because the guy, like the quarterback, even in one of those kind of went like that. And like, he couldn't, like, you could tell he couldn't, I don't know what it was, but you could tell that they were a little bit thrown off by the noise. And I'm like
a Chargers home game. But okay.
Don't remind me of these things. See, this is the funny part. You're trying to make sure I don't get going, because then I'm gonna say some ungodly things about these people.
Continue.
But then,
I just can't stand. Yeah, I just can't stand.
Oh, you know what my favorite is of high school crowds? The coaches in the stands. Those are my favorite. Absolutely love those guys, dude.
I can't sit by the family, like the players' families or just the crowd. I can't sit by them, because once they start talking crap, I'll turn and I'll say something. So they have a special section for me to go sit at. So
just so you understand, one time we were at a game where Eric Weddle was coaching, right? NFL vet. I think he played for 10 years or more, won a Super Bowl. The parents in the stands are judging him on what he knows about football and play calling and all this other stuff. Unbelievable to me, dude. Like, you're gonna challenge the guy.
There was a guy one time, when Dan played, there was a guy on the back of his shirt, he had Cheer Dad on there. And one day he starts like criticizing Dan. He's like, 67 and 70, whatever, you need to. And I said, don't get into 67. I'm like, why don't you focus on the cheerleading? They're doing pretty bad too. And he turns around and he looks at me and he's like, you don't have to be rude. I was like, don't start calling out players, because I can start calling out cheerleaders. And everybody around us started laughing, but he was not happy about the comment. But what the hell was I going to do? Don't call out my little brother. Like, get out of here. So yeah, he was just but yeah, I absolutely hate those parents, but whatever. That's why players now freaking, they're so entitled and think that they're hot shit when they're not. Then all right, Vic, go ahead.
All right, mine has to do with Panthers owner David Tepper. It's not about the fact that he fired Frank Wright or anything like that. It has to do with, once again, as you guys talked to, I think it was you, Fernando, who said something about now everybody can cover now everybody covers a sport. But this has to do with Charlotte columnist Scott Fowler. He called on David Tepper to fire himself, and then on Tuesday the Panthers didn't call on Fowler when David Tepper had his press conference, and he was there in the front row raising his hand, and they wouldn't call on him, and that's just like, here we go again. Like, we continue to see these billionaires who got their money and they think they know everything. They think that, hey, I made my money in this way, so I should not be criticized when I make mistakes. And it's like, if someone calls you out, you're just gonna, as you guys talked about, sitting in the stands with entitled parents who baby their kids. And it's like, this whole mentality is the same way with these owners. It's like, you got people like Elon Musk, who now has destroyed Twitter, and you call them out and it's like they turn into little babies. And it's like, nobody can handle criticism. Like, we give our opinions. Sometimes we're right, sometimes we're wrong, and we get criticized in the comments, but we're not there like going back and forth, and we're like, oh, we're not going to respond to people. Hey, if we'll get into a discussion, whether you like it or not, hey, it's fair. Like, but don't call people names. Scott Fowler wasn't calling them names. He just told them, hey, you should fire yourself, because look at all the history of what you've done. You fire people right away. You're not patient, and hire people to do their job, and let them do their job. And so
he's going to show up to go cover the team tomorrow, and he's not going to have any access.
Yeah,
that's going to be hilarious. I would do that. I'm not even going to lie, though. I would do that for some people. If I felt like they crossed the line, I'd say, get the hell out of here, dude. Bring me someone who's a professional. 100%.
My team, it's his team, his organization, and his ball girls.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Becky Moon.
Exactly. But what I'm getting at is that it's fair to criticize, right? You're totally right. It's fair to criticize.
Don't make
There's
it
a
personal.
difference. Exactly. Don't make it personal. There's a difference between criticizing and writing about somebody, and there's another where you're trying to be explosive for clicks. Like, everybody can see
like
that.
Deadspin.
Yeah, sure. I don't even know what they did. I don't remember who that is. With a name like Deadspin, I assume they did something pretty stupid. So, but yeah, that's what I'm getting at. You could tell. I would 100% get out of here. Get the hell out of here. Bring me a new reporter. 100%. You know what? I would probably turn it into a WWE thing, right? Start just cutting promos and, getting it going.
I'm actually excited for this one. Gilbert?
I know we're short on time, and maybe I won't give you the justice here, Fernando. But real quick,
do it, please. I don't.
I feel like my heart's more on this one now, because I am a reporter. I hate when PR tries to cut people off because they're just telling the truth or telling how it is, and especially nowadays, we're losing good journalists every single hour. I feel like nobody cares about ethics or integrity when it comes to being a journalist anymore. Everybody's soft and saying, hey, why you criticizing the player? But kind of like, I know you guys talk about the stats. There's different things here. And I get down, you got to judge everything case by case. There's a line, there's ethics, there's kind of like an unwritten codes you don't want to go too far. But, the comment saying, like, fire yourself, like, yeah, you're the one that's meddled and forced people, intimidated people, saying, I have no say here, but make sure it's Bryce Young. And then now you're kind of annoyed that Bryce Young is not doing well, so you're trying to make sure your bet's going well, so you fire everybody inside. Yeah, so that was a fair column there. So I think that should pass. He's in the freaking front row, so call the guy. But anyways, back to my burial. It's definitely Black Friday, and I was so happy that we're finally gonna kill Black Friday. All these sales and all these things, and everything's 50% off. Let's go to freaking Walmart at midnight and have a fist fight for that freaking TV. Like, I hate it.
You remember that? Yeah,
those days. And I'm like, cool, we're gonna be done with it. But then everything you see on social media, like Cyber Monday became Black Friday. So everything's like, all right, let me go check out, or a Travel Tuesday, or whatever it is. And it's like, there's no deals. There's like nothing's off. Everything's like, well, you got to buy it within this time or this time. There's always some kind of scam, or read the fine print. So enough with this stupid Black Friday thing. And don't give me a Black Friday game. Give that to the kids. Give that to high school football. How about that, Dan?
Exactly.
Stay away. Leave it to the college. We already have Thursday, Monday, and Thursday is the worst game. Why do we need a Friday game? Why am I watching after I ate a bunch of turkey and I'm barely waking up at 12, and I gotta watch freaking Todd Boyle with Tim Boyle and the Jets. Get out of here in the worst Hail Mary ever. No more Black Friday. Amazon Prime, keep it. And then the whole time, surprise, surprise, when they're saying, hey, you know what? Commercial break. But before we go there, let's promote these Amazon products. Please buy them and go on the internet and then go back to football. Yes, Amazon. It was a brilliant idea to say, hey, come buy all these products here. But I'm not trying to watch a freaking infomercial or that what's called a home TV channel, whatever it is. I'm trying to watch football. It's not a real football game where the Jets are involved. But anything with Black Friday, I'm over it.
I love this.
The original Black Friday.
I love that movie.
I love this part.
You know what's funny? I think Friday I saw a video on Twitter which was like throwback to like the 2000s Black Friday. It was like these kids will never understand.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, dude. I was like, I completely forgot. I was like, yeah, that's what it used to be. Like it's so crazy.
One
how
time
just
we couldn't.
flies.
One time we were at Black Friday. We couldn't find Dan anywhere, and it was we were out with like 3 cousins and like an aunt. We could not find Dan. We're like, where is he? Where is he? He was in a rack of clothes underneath it, asleep at like 2 a.m.
Yeah,
like,
that was my first Black Friday ever, dude. I was like a
asleep.
freshman. I think I was a
Yeah.
freshman or a sophomore. No, I was a freshman in high school.
Yeah,
And I was like,
wanted
oh, you
to
know what?
go.
I've never gone. Like, let's go. I fell asleep under a rack of clothes. I was so exhausted. Like, I was like, that was the first and last time I had ever gone out to a Black Friday. It was the worst decision.
I did it
of my
like
life.
one time too. It was stupid.
Yeah.
my mom had a surgery one time, and she was in a wheelchair. And I took her on Black Friday, and we were just running people over with like their wheelchair and shit, and
Like
just
in,
rolling people over.
Like in Scary Movie 2 when they're in the hallway with the wheelchair and something
Yeah.
fire, dude.
Exactly. All right, let's jump over real quick. This Thanksgiving weekend, a cable network hosted a Harry Potter movie marathon, which prompted millennials across the internet to discuss the top films in the series. What is the best Harry Potter film in the franchise? I'll go first. I'm going to say Deathly Hallows 2. Why? Because is he dead? Yeah. Is Draco alive? He's dead. He's dead. And then all of a sudden Neville Longbottom with the great promo. Harry Potter wakes up. Boom. That's it for Voldemort. So, but either that
Easy
one or
choice.
Sorcerer's Stone. Either the what?
No. You can't change now because I
That's
mocked
true.
you. You can't
But
change.
no, I don't care that you mocked
That's an
me.
easy. That's an easy
No.
one. Plus,
But-
you know what's the worst part of this? Wait,
Wow.
wasn't Snape's reveal in number 2?
Yeah.
This.
How do you not even mention the most important thing in the whole franchise?
You were gonna say F. All right,
Crazy.
Dan, go ahead.
Go ahead. What is yours, Dan?
Crazy. By far, 100%. Number 2, Chamber of Secrets is the best Harry Potter film. Standalone, 100%. As I say that, everyone's gonna be like, no. Shut up.
What number is
At
that
the
one? I don't
time-
know for the people that don't know.
Number
what
2,
number is that?
number two.
I thought
At
you were
the
number
time
2.
when you watched it, no, that's definitely.
No, I
Hallows
was definitely
Part 2.
Hallows Part 2.
See, if you would have watched and
Part
finished,
2?
if you
What?
would have finished these films, you would understand what we're talking about. Chamber of Secrets is by far the best one, and here's why. Understand that I revere it so much because I watched it live, right? So the whole time you're sweating bullets thinking
We
there's
all
not going
watched
to
it
be
live.
there's not going to be a Harry Potter Part 3 because you're sweating
read the book.
bullets because no, who cares about the books? I'm talking about the film. You're sweating bullets because you're like the threat of the school closing was so real because of the basilisk and everything else, and you can see it on McGonagall's face, just freaking like worried the school's gonna close. and everything
Dumbledore
else.
wasn't even the headmaster number 2. Everybody was nervous because it was Snape. He had a dictatorship.
Who was the headmaster? Snape wasn't the headmaster in that
Yes,
Chamber
he
of
was.
Secrets.
No, number
Headmaster?
2. Deathly Hallows.
Okay, so he was the headmaster. Awesome. I'm saying that's an easy pick. Like our boy Eddie says, shout out to Eddie, Sir Edward. Shout out to you and your lob. You take the easy bets. That's what you did. You take the
All right,
easy.
Vic, go ahead.
You
Here
pick
go.
the
See,
favorites. Pick favorites. That's
what,
what it was.
This is why I put this in because it was funny. I was Megan's been sick, so we saw the marathon and we started watching the movies, and she
You
read
could have
the
invited
book.
Gilbert over.
I know,
Yeah,
right?
for real, so he could finish it.
I don't think he would have had much fun. We would have invited Caroline. She's into the movies, but for me it's Prisoner of Azkaban. You know, you
What
have
number?
a number three.
Thank
Number
Idiot.
3. You have a Mexican director and Alfonso Cuarón. And then also
that.
that's when the movie starts to get really like they go from like really happy kind of to like scary version. It starts to get dark for me, and I mean you get Gary Oldman. You have a bunch of
Yeah.
dudes like it's for me it's my favorite
Come on,
one.
Peter.
Yeah,
Where are you, Peter? Dude, it produced one of the most iconic lines ever. Just wait. I've done my waiting. 12 years of it in Azkaban.
All right,
Okay.
and
Sirius
Sirius
I-
Black. There you go.
my
You know what that
favorite-
is? Sirius Black.
Then
you know
my
who Sirius
favorite.
Black is?
Huh?
Sirius Black.
Oh, the guy who was in prison. He came back and did
That's
some
because I
shit.
just said that. Ignore him. Ignore
Okay.
him. No,
I did
then
watch
my
some of
other,
it,
my other,
but
my
clearly-
other favorite.
Clearly, Victor did not have me in mind for his rundown question because I have no idea what you guys are talking about. But I'll give you an answer. I'll surprise you. All the movies from Fantastic Beasts are way better than Harry Potter movies. There you go.
All right.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Hey, at least he mentioned movie.
There you go. Prequel.
This is
I'm
terrible.
surprised
He's been
you didn't go
removed
with-
now for that. That was a terrible L take. We're removing him for that. Then
I
the
thought he
other
was gonna
part.
with the Goblet
other
of Fire. or
Who
something.
gave you access?
I thought you were gonna
why
go
does-
with the Goblet of Fire or something.
I don't even know what that is. Is that a book? That's
That's
a book,
number
right?
Exactly.
4 or number 5.
No idea.
Are you
Number
moving
four.
it or am I? There you go.
There we go.
The other thing I was gonna say, you remember my other favorite part when he goes, Peter is right there, and Ron goes, me, not you, boy, the rats.
These are all
Just
escaping
over
Gilberto.
dramatic, dude.
Yeah, I feel left out.
How dare you say? You know what?
Name
I
us
wanna
a
change-
spell. Name us a spell. Give us one spell.
We told you, scoliosis.
No, that is not real. How many
But the
movies
road
did you get
is.
through? How many movies did you get through?
Look on these, Dan. There you go. That's a spell.
How many films did you get through?
Move it on. Let's go.
You got through Half Blood Prince, I think.
Is that 4?
6.
You got through 6 and you can't name a spell?
I feel like I'm blessing you.
Blasphemer. Now he's a heretic also. You could never bless me. You can't
All right,
name a
let's go.
spell.
No.
And you've seen 6 films or 4 or whatever it was.
Move on.
So now he's a goat.
I can name
All right,
5
let's go with my
spells
math
right
real
now.
quick. This was sent to me by Vic. Look at the way this house decorated.
Oh, that was awesome. Yeah.
I can't play
that
the music.
wins
because my-
Christmas
my
right there.
copyright. It's Home Alone 2 or Home Alone. It's Marv and
What's in the window,
and
though?
Harry. And it says
Oh,
Merry
Michael
Christmas,
Jordan.
you
Animal.
filthy animal.
Yeah.
It is hilarious. And they even had the Wanted poster, the newspaper for Wanted. So
The wet
this is
bandits.
yeah, this is obviously from Home Alone 1 because
Got Michael Jordan in the window
Yeah,
as
in
well.
The window, yeah.
yeah, Michael Jordan in the window, of course. Yeah, it's just the greatest thing ever. It is awesome. I cannot wait. December 1st is when my marathon starts. So this Sunday, I start my movie marathon of Christmas movies, and I'll watch
What's the
these
first film?
Home Alone.
Oh.
But you know what's crazy? One day I told my mom, I'm like, why do we go over to relatives' houses for Christmas? Let's just sit here, watch Christmas movies, and order a cheese pizza, just like my boy Kevin does in Home Alone.
Can I? I know we gotta go soon, but can I say,
What?
you guys brought up Jingle All the Way earlier, and we were watching, and we've already started watching Christmas movies. But we were talking about Jingle All the Way, and I was like, hey, if they do the movie again and they recast it with some new guys,
No thanks.
no, I'm just hear me out, hear me out. Hear me out. Let me sell you on Jingle All the Way here. If they redid it, what do you guys think of Batista as the
No.
as the Arnold, and then
No.
what's his
No.
name?
Jamie.
Keenan Thompson as Sinbad.
No. No.
I'd rather-
Blasphemer. Heretic.
You know who would have been a good Sinbad kind of character? But I mean, he would have been too old by now. But Bernie, there's so many
Yeah.
roles where
Oh,
I'm like,
Bernie
Bernie Mac
Mac,
would have
yeah.
killed this role. Like
Yeah.
he would have, like
Yeah.
even in Transformers, he has a small role, but he's hilarious
Yeah.
in
Hey, Ernie!
Transformers. Yeah, but no,
That's what it was.
I can't.
Is
I
it
can't
just
believe-
me, or do I feel like it's kind of underrated as a Christmas movie? I feel like only us.
It's
talk about
very
it.
underrated.
Yeah,
I
it is,
love
yeah.
I'm
Jingle
surprised that
All
we
the
all
Way.
like it here.
What about John
Don't-
Cena? Not even John
no,
Cena?
No.
No, no,
No.
no.
Trying to think of
No.
something here.
No,
No.
no,
You
because
know
I
what's
hate
one thing?
remakes. I don't think any
Yeah.
remake has done anything worthwhile that
Facts.
I'm like, this remake is better than the original. Like, I'm just not.
Like they're making a
Star Wars, the
Ghostbusters.
new ones. Yeah.
Who cares? No,
Those
those are
suck.
ass. The sequels are
Those
ass.
are terrible. Those are the
I was going
worst.
to tell you.
7 was the only passable one. Everything else was trash.
I was
I'm
gonna
trolling
tell
you
you.
for that. I'm trolling you.
I
I
know
was
you
going to
are.
tell you. I'm going to fix the scoreboard. Instead of it being Infinity Dan, 0 Disney, I'm going to put one up for Disney. I recently saw The Haunted Mansion, and I was pleasantly surprised.
I heard
That
great
was
things about that.
That was a pretty good little remake right there. I thought it was very interesting. I thought the new story and the references to the ride were awesome. So I give that one a solid little rating. That one
I actually
passes the
watched it.
Dano-
It was okay. It was
the
okay.
Dano meter. Yeah, it was. But like everything else Disney has done, I've said it's complete ass half of the time. And this to not be complete ass, it's
Why,
one
not
no
true.
grab
Rainbow's
action.
ready for in the summer. Why the hell does this movie come out in the summer, not in freaking Halloween?
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
dumb.
that
It
that
was
that,
crazy
that
right
made
there.
it also.
And
Oh,
they got
because of the
killed by the writer's strike.
Because of the strike.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, they got killed by the writer's
Oh.
strike too.
Like,
God.
think about it. Blue Beetle got destroyed. Like, nobody wanted to go
Oh.
watch it.
And
because of the
now
strike.
everybody's talking about.
Because of
I haven't
HBO
watched
Max.
it.
Yep.
I haven't watched it yet. Dan's lying to you guys. He's so excited about the new Snow White. He cannot wait for that movie. But
No, you set me up for a trap. I'm not even gonna do it. Nope.
but
I like my 1937 version. I'll leave it at that.
Dan, real quick, tell Gilbert about the ride with Eric on Sunday. You were excited to see Eric Williams.
Oh, that was a blast. It's always a good time. Him and Dante, always a blast, dude. We had a good
The
time.
same car?
Always a
yeah,
blast.
that was a crazy car.
Eric must have felt so overwhelmed because he would hear us in Spanish, and then we switch over right away and go to English to speak with.
Well, because
Sir
Dante
Eric.
and I were sitting in the front, Gilbert or Eric and I were sitting in the front talking, and like Dante is talking crap to my cousin, and then he's talking crap with Daniel about my cousin. So they're just talking crap in the back, and they're loud. And I turn to Dante, I'm like, "Weren't you gonna fall asleep?" And he starts like he threw like something at me, and I was like, "You moron! I'm driving." So, yeah, exactly. And so I was just like, "Oh my god!" I'm like, that was like nobody fell asleep on that car ride. Like everybody was like,
I don't
He only
even
fell
care
asleep
what
on
he
the way out.
says. Whenever Dante just says a word, I just start laughing. I know it's gonna be
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
The
He's
dude is
awesome,
just-
dude. He's hilarious.
And then the way like him and I kind of like talk crap to each other, like I feel like everybody just like I don't know, it's funny. But all right, he might be at Radio Row for the Super Bowl this year, so Vic, you might get a chance to meet him. You'll
can't
never you'll wonder what
I've
life
heard
was
great
like
things
before.
on the podcast about you.
Yeah,
Ándale,
yeah,
cabrón.
exactly. Exactly. All right. Well, we appreciate everybody so much for checking out another episode of Compas on the Beat. Please make sure to check out the links below. Help us help you get great content from Radio Row. Don't forget to check out everything else on Compas on the Beat Network. I actually did. People have been, I mean, I'm not going to talk crap about other people, other journalists or anything, but was finally able to lock up a guest for this week. Our good compa Doug Keed
Shout out.
will be jumping on to talk Patriots. What's the future of Bill Belichick? What's it been like with
Ooh, could be
J.C.
a good one.
Jackson there? Yeah, what's the life been like with J.C. Jackson? Mac Jones, has he regressed? What's going on with him? Has he ever progressed? We'll see about that. So make sure you guys tune in for that preview. The Rams play the Browns this week at home. That'll be interesting. The guys got you covered on that. Are you going?
No, I'm gonna pass.
Okay.
I don't want to watch Joe Flacco from the practice squad or PJ Walker.
Ooh, Joe Flacco would be interesting.
Who's Joe
Damn.
Flacco with?
Can I
The
change my
Browns?
pick? If Joe Flacco starts, can I change my pick?
He's on the practice squad, yeah, and they need a quarterback because PJ Walker's terrible and
Miles
Darius
Garrett
Thompson-
might not play. There's a lot of injured guys on that defense
Joe
now.
Flacco's gonna be like, I'll bring
He's
them
gonna
to
sling it.
glory.
He's
Can you
gonna
imagine if he
sling it.
wins the Super Bowl? If he takes them all the way to the Super Bowl and wins it off the couch?
Plays the
All right.
Ravens in the AFC title game. How about that?
Oh, that'd be
I
so
would
funny.
love that. Yeah.
All right. Thank you guys so much for checking us out. Don't forget to check out everything else. Don't forget to be a compa, tell a compa, comment, like, subscribe, hit the notification, the ding, so you can get the notification when we drop an episode. Again, thank you guys so much. Have a good one and peace. Oh no, Gilbert.
Don't forget about me.
Gilbert. Yeah, I forgot.
It's because that stupid Fantastic Beast comment.
Yeah. There you go. If you check out the link in the description for the donation PayPal, if you give us money, maybe I'll watch all 7 of the Harry Potter movies and give you an honest review.
Whoa.
Or an option, if you donate, you could get win a date or a dinner date with Dan and Daygo. We need to do that. You gotta hang out with Dan and Daygo. But on that note,
Gilbert, ¿sabes qué? Vámonos.
I'm not that
Nah,
interesting.
no remix. Ya nos vamos. Vámonos.